As we begin to do our online research for our civilizations project, let's discuss how to assess a website to see if it is a credible source to be using. So let's start off by doing what I'm sure you guys have all done by just Google searching the word Aztec. Let's click on the first source that comes up, a Wikipedia article. Wikipedia is not a good source to be using because anyone can have an account on this website and anyone can write anything, whether they feel like maliciously lying or they are just misinformed. There are no fact checkers and there are no peer reviews, so no one in this field is looking at this Wikipedia page and making sure everything is correct. But if we scroll down to the bottom to where the references are, we can look at where someone might have done research, and we can go and assess these individual sources, which are probably much more credible, and see if those are useful to us. But just because person A wrote the entire article and included all of these references does not mean person B might have come in and changed things that they thought were wrong. So just because the references are used down here doesn't mean the information above is correct. Let's move on to the next website. First, we're going to look at the .com. That is sort of the general URL domain. It means anyone can have a .com. So that doesn't really mean anything to us other than it's generic and anyone can have it, kind of like Wikipedia. Anyone can write on Wikipedia. Now, if we look at the website, it's not super professional in its graphic design elements, which to me kind of shows that it's not a professional website, but not that it can't be trusted. So we are going to go to the About page and see who the author is. So if we look at this part, Hime has a lot to say and a lot of passion about the Aztec Empire, and he has also worked with several people who have credentials, several doctors. But if we look at his little bio here, he doesn't have any official credentials. He lives in Mexico, he's visited the sites, he's studied the language in classes, but he doesn't hold any credentials. So that doesn't mean he's a bad source, but he's probably not the best source that we could use. So we might want to fact check, but we could still cite his source. Now if we go to this website, it's an encyclopedia, which kind of like Wikipedia, everyone writes a separate section, but we can track who the author is. So if we go to the author's page, we can see that he holds degrees in ancient Greek philosophy, and that he usually specializes in Greek, but he has expanded to other ancient civilizations, including Mesoamerica, which is where the Aztec Empire was. So again, he might not be the best resource, but he's probably better than Hime, and he's definitely better than Wikipedia. And I just want to point out that this domain is EU, which stands for English Union, and that just means that it was published in the English Union. So now if we go to the next one, this is a .edu. That means it's education. These are probably some of the easiest sources that you can decide to use because it means someone from a school had to put this together. So as you see, this is from the University of Minnesota Duluth. And while it's not a super pretty website, it means that someone from the university had to have put this together. It is put together by an instructor. We can follow the instructor and we can figure out what their credentials are. He teaches sociology and anthropology at the College of Liberal Arts. So because he's a university professor, he's probably a safe choice. Now let's go to the last source we have. This is a blog. Anyone can have a blog on Blogspot. And you can see it's a .com. Now, just in the first sentence, we can see this blog compares what I know. So that means that informs me that there's not going to be a lot of resources here. So let's see what this person knows. This author has absolutely nothing listed. However, they do have other blogs, one about poetry writing and one about creativity. So that tells me that the Aztec Empire probably isn't their strong suit. So this probably isn't the website we want to use at all. So just a reminder, when you go onto a website, you can look at the URL domain to give you an indicator, and then you can look at the author's credentials to see if what they say is valid, and you can also assess the sources that are being used.